I spent the next few days talking myself into it, telling myself what a good idea it was to have a baby and how great it would be to have a family. Or I'd tell myself maybe once the baby came I'd feel differently, or what if I couldn't even get pregnant and all this pain was for nothing? I finally decided that giving in would be my birthday present to him. I knew that it was wrong, that I wasn't even close to being ready to be a mother, but there was nowhere else to go. On Sam's birthday, I got up and made him breakfast and brought it out on a tray. Underneath his coffee cup, I put a note that said, yes. He looked up at me with a triumphant smile. Pamela was shaking her head. Of course I got pregnant right away with Mikhail. I don't get it. People pray and beg God for a baby and never have one, and here I am hoping I won't get pregnant, and I'm pregnant immediately. I was terrified. Sam just kept telling me that everything would be fine, that being a mother was a natural part of womanhood. Pamela grimaced, as if he knew anything about being a woman. She looked into my eyes. No matter what they say, it's not always a natural thing, at least not for everyone. After she was born, I remember sitting in bed holding this beautiful little baby and thinking that I was supposed to be feeling something magical and wondering what was wrong with me. I never should have had a baby until I was ready. It wasn't fair to Mikhail. It wasn't fair to me. Pamela wiped her eyes. I felt insanely guilty that I didn't connect with her. Truthfully, I resented her. And I hated myself for resenting her. Of course, I couldn't tell Sam any of this. I tried once, and he turned on me so fiercely, I was afraid he's going to hurt me. Growing up, I had seen Sam blow up a few times, so I knew he was capable of extreme rage. He told me that I was just selfish. What did you say to that? Pamela bowed her head a little. I told him he was right. Neither of us spoke for a while. She was spent, and I wasn't sure what to say. After a while, she said, do you mind if I eat something? I realized that she probably hadn't eaten much for several days. No, of course not. We both ate. Pamela wolfed down her sandwich, looking slightly embarrassed to be eating so quickly. When she finished the sandwich, she started on the soup, first with a spoon and then lifting the bowl. She must have been starving, I thought. When she finished everything, she apologized. I'm sorry, I haven't eaten for a while. No, I'm sorry, I should have let you eat. Would you like something else, some pie? No, thank you, she said. Shall I continue? Please, I said. She looked down, collecting her thoughts, her forehead furrowed. Before I had Mikhail, I was working as an office manager at a plumbing supply store. I'd quit when Mikhail was born, but we struggled on just Sam's income, so when she started school, I went back to work. One day, this really handsome man came in, Jeremy. He was a plumber, but he could have been a model. I was having one of those really hard days when it was all I could do not to burst into tears. He asked if I was all right, and I started to cry. He was really sweet. He asked if I needed to talk to someone and offered to meet me after work for a coffee. I told him thank you, but I was married, and he backed off. But it wasn't the last I saw of him. He became a regular customer and would come in several days a week. He'd bring me a little box of chocolates every time he came to sweeten my day. I began looking forward to his visits. One day, Jeremy came in about lunchtime. As he waited for his order to be filled, we started in on our usual chat when he asked if I wanted to get something to eat. It was the right time or wrong time for him to ask. Sam and I just had another big blow up that morning. Pamela paused and her voice softened. I said yes. We ended up at his condo. It was only the beginning. We started meeting every week. Jeremy was single and had a great business, so he had a lot of money and was always buying me jewelry and clothes. Couldn't bring them home, not that Sam would have noticed. Sam was busy trying to get his insurance business off the ground, so he worked late almost every night. He rarely called me during the day. After a year of our affair, Jeremy asked me to leave Sam and marry him. Sam and I had only grown more distant, so honestly, Jeremy's proposal sounded great. Except there was a hitch. He said that he didn't want to be tied down to a kid. I understood that. I mean, I felt the same way. I got married and pregnant so young that I never had a chance to see the world. I know it sounds awful. She looked into my eyes. It is awful. I considered it, but I couldn't do it. Mikhail was only 7. I couldn't just leave her. Jeremy said he understood. He said that that was what he really loved about me, that I had a good heart, but he loved me so intensely that if our relationship wasn't going anywhere, it'd be best if we stopped seeing each other. He stopped calling. He still came into the store, but he wouldn't speak to me. It was agonizing. I was in love with him. I wanted to be with him more than anything. At home, things with Sam just got worse. He never outright called me an awful mother, at least not then, but I knew he was thinking it. Maybe it was because I was thinking it. Then one day, I went to pick Mikhail up from her babysitter, and Mikhail said, I don't want to go home with you. The babysitter was really embarrassed. She said, you don't mean that. And Mikhail said, yes, I do. I don't like her. Pamela's eyes welled up again. I know kids say dumb things, but it broke me. Sam hated me. Now Mikhail didn't want me. I cried all night. The next day I called Jeremy from work and begged him to take me back. I said I'd do whatever he wanted if he'd just take me back. He came and got me. I didn't go home after work. I just went straight to his place. I didn't even pick up Mikhail.